Hello, this is Dawn Moore at Allegiance Title Company. In our most recent video, we discussed the misconception that many agents have about what they refer to as contingent offers. Too many listing agents advertise that the seller will not accept an offer contingent on sale of other property. Yet they allow that same seller to accept an offer subject to third-party financing for credit approval. I submit to you that sale of other property is built in the third-party financing addendum for credit approval. Let me explain. Credit approval is based on buyer's assets. If buyer's assets are tied in the proceeds from their existing home, then the lender approval of their assets is going to be conditioned on the sale of their property. The key is not simply to state that you will not accept an offer contingent on sale of other property, but rather when you receive the offer you ask, does the buyer need to sell their home to buy this one? At the end of that video discussing that misconception, I suggested to you there may be benefits to the seller for accepting the addendum for sale of other property, and let me explain. If a seller is willing to accept an offer subject to third-party financing for credit approval, then the seller will not make their offer worse by adding the addendum for sale of other property, and in fact can possibly make it better. Here's how. Make the contingency date under the sale of other property addendum match the date for credit approval. That means the contingency expires at the same time the contingency for credit approval expires. But more importantly, prior to credit approval, seller can continue to show the property for backups, and if he accepts a backup under the addendum for sale of other property, he can force the buyer either to waive the specific contingency or terminate the contract, thus allowing him to put the backup in a primary. The contingency for third-party financing addendum does not have the same provision. Without the addendum for sale of other property, the seller has no vehicle to move the backup into a primary position, but rather, under the third-party financing addendum, simply has to allow the primary to terminate of its own terms. In this market, I see backup contracts coming in at higher prices than the primary contract. So the seller would love the opportunity to exercise what you call a kick-out. Of course, I explained to you it's really the buyer's choice. It's the buyer's choice to either waive the contingency or terminate the contract. But if the buyer waives the contingency, the addendum calls for additional earnest money, and hopefully the seller has negotiated a significant amount to make it worth his while. I hope this information was of value to you. Allegiance wants to be your resource for results, so please call us whenever we can be of help. Thank you.